tie back. You stay here. Stay here. Okay, stay here. Hi. Hi. Oh, you're such a good boy. This is a very important little, it's going smooth because we've already had our big disagreement, but good. Oh, it's like me right in the mouth. I want to make sure that he understands my method of correcting, so every time I shush, he did get a correction on the e-collar. It was just mild. You know, if he kept coming, because he stopped. I didn't add a skill on that, like saying go, which would be me teaching him another skill, like get out of here, which I could do. Right now, I was just concerned that he knew that was me punishing him, and it means to leave her alone because it's mine, that kind of thing. We're still doing the dog talk here, okay? Let's see what happens. Go.
It's so hard for him not to see.
It's good. You're using one of his coping skills. Good boy. Good. See, he doesn't know what to do with himself, you see. His natural instinct is to be dominant with her. I could see it within 2 seconds of him getting close to her. But the way he postures himself. Good dog. See, I'm not using commands. I didn't tell him to sit or anything, because I don't want to have to hold him accountable. I want to just talk to him about not going up on her. And if he leaves when I tell him to, right? See, that's much less disrespectful. That's headed into the wrong direction right there. Good, that's a skill. This is just me fainting. I'm fainting him. I'm freaking him out by putting my foot up and stop. See that? Good, because he's jumping. Just holding my space. Let him know, don't come near. Good boy. These are skills he doesn't know yet. He's learning them right now in front of you through this experience. But we're claiming a dog. Like, this looks like it's not easy, or this looks easy, but it's not.
It's not easy.
Right? Because if I didn't already have a conversation with him over hierarchy, it would be bad. So this is body language. Notice once he kind of backs up, my body language leaves him alone. But if he starts acting up, my body language squares up on him. That's just another layer of communication for him. It's one that he knows. So I'm putting that in there. Good. Great.
Woo!
Yes, good, that's fine. He's like, am I allowed to go interact with her? He triggers back, he caught himself. Because he's in socialized mode, so if I touch him in the butt, is when I see him jerking. See, he wants to hump her?
Yeah.
That's the first phase. Head over the shoulders and then maybe this. And if that goes cool, he's just going to swing around and hump her. So I'm claiming my pack member. She's mine. She's my member. She's my family. I'm saying don't do that to her. It's clear. Good. See, he's like, okay, so she's a resource right now because it's something that he wants, feels that he needs. He goes over to her, he starts interacting with her, he really is liking the possibilities of what this is smelling like. As soon as he starts to have those thoughts, he goes to get onto her back. I shush, I give it a tap. His response is what I'm looking for. He leaves her alone and walks away to the other side of the room and holds still and lets me have access to her. That is the coping skill for everything I disagree with in the future. It could be guests at the door, it could be a squirrel down the road. He's learning it right now. He did not know how to do this. We had a couple experiences. We did some recall and we did some hierarchical stuff. Now we're claiming, which is more hierarchical stuff, claiming a dog. But look, he knows that when he feels that correction, his association is that was me correcting her because I don't want her to touch something that I want. So then he naturally leaves it alone by going away from it. Because I did a couple reps of telling him to go. And laying down back there, good boy, he gets his good boy. This is his first experience learning an alternative behavior, a coping skill that he can use when I disagree about him going up on stuff or wanting stuff in general. She's just currently the trigger to help teach what to do in these situations. Now, like we said before, what's happening in homes across America is if we see a conflict going to happen, we see that we can't hold our dog back going by the other dog, then we're going to manage it until we get by and have that dog go by, and then we're going to try to never bump into dogs again. And then this is an opportunity to disagree, have conflict, and have resolution where the dog learns that in this situation, you don't do this, you do this, okay? And it's also another opportunity for me to gain those brownie points as a leader because I dealt with another situation, which means that relationship dynamic is in my favor. And if it's not in my favor, these situations do not turn out good because they don't listen when you need them to, and it's a shit show, right? If the relationship dynamic is right, and I'm up here and he's down here, that means he listens to me, we've done the right experiences, I tell him to stop, he does. That's invaluable. If I could say stop and he does, invaluable. We need that from our dogs. The next thing is, can I say do and he does, okay? That might require some training where I have to teach him the common communication of the commands. A lot of it comes down to attitude because these commands are very easy. Break. Good job, Floki. Now, he got pulled out of that interaction after a correction for going into a hump. Let's let him interact with her again because he doesn't seem to be dangerous with her. And she's definitely not dangerous for him. If he goes for that again, he'll get corrected again. And eventually what happens is he'll stop going for that behavior. He won't stop interacting with her unless all he wants is the hump. And he can't do that. But he'll learn that it's the humping that's being corrected. See, there's a shake. Okay, he's doing good. He's like, okay, but I want a hump. I want a hump. That's all I want to do right now. My brain's saying, hump her.
Like we're stopping them from doing what their instincts
Yeah, he
are
would have
telling
already
them.
done it if that first. It's all experiences. So like the first time they get the urge to do it, and they go to do it, and it's successful, meaning it's rewarding somehow, they're going to continue it. If it's punished, that means it's not. It's a non-desirable outcome. It's an aversive outcome. They're going to avoid it, right? Okay. But he's obviously, this is either his first time having this experience, which I doubt, or he's done it before, right? Because he's like, you see him jacked up on it. You see him really like feel. But look what he chose to do, and I didn't touch his collar. That's a good boy. He said, I have the temptation and the urge to do this, but I know I just got corrected, and I didn't like it, so he chose to go over there. He did that because of our relationship, because of the experiences I gave to him. So that was huge. Because he just said no, he just decided to not do something that he wants to do because he knows that I disagree with it. That is a follower choice. And that is a good boy. And that is a very good boy. A very good boy. So you're seeing how this is working, how relationship is key, and how giving certain experiences to change the belief of what happens when you do certain things can keep our dogs way more successful than just management alone. Okay? Because as soon as that management fails, if the desire's there, the dog's gone. I just disagree. And what he does after that disagreement matters. He did this, he's good. If he came back for another one, I'd have to correct him on the collar. He's so used to interacting with humans that way by just putting his mouth on. The rule of thumb, there's a bunch of little rules of thumb, and I'll try to cover them eventually, but one of the rules of thumb is no teeth on skin, right? You can't, and the dog understands they can feel your skin. And so they'll get to the point where he'll avoid putting his teeth on my skin, which is what we want. So again, instead of avoiding the situation, I'm just using this guy as an example, not saying anyone's avoiding anything, but instead of avoiding it by not playing with him, I'm going to show him what happens. I'm going to give him an aversive tied to this so that he chooses to stop doing it. And then I'm also going to start rewarding an alternative behavior, which is laying here and letting me pet the top of his head. What happens is the dog changes the response. We give him everything needed. We give the punishment to stop the unwanted. We give an alternative behavior backed up by reward. So the dog's going to choose the path of least resistance, right? Okay? This was a good boy. Lots of lessons learned. Lots of good stuff happened. I'm glad I got a chance to break it down. And we're going to continue with him on the next session. Right now we're going to take his sister out.